Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Mike Gio, a physical therapist. And yes, we are here at the Alternative Healthcare Career Show tonight. We're going to be interviewing the rest of the people how to become a travel therapist professional. We'll be back in a few seconds, okay?
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. If you're watching live, comment live. Watching on a replay, comment replay. I haven't been going live too much. We've been so busy. If you are busy, type in busy. The owner or the CEO of HelloNote, check it out. If you need the documentation system, check out hellonote.com.
Premium beat.
And you know what? Every time I talk to Steve, he would always ask me, "Hey, Mike, how are you?" And I would say, "I'm busy, man." And he would always tell me, "Busy is good." All right, so busy is good, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody says, hello, Mason McDowell. And from Mindy, live from Minnesota. What's your temperature there in Minnesota? Type in where you at in the city and everything. Hello, Facebook user.
Premium beat.
And Michelle said, "Yep." No, we're not a replay. This is still live, Michelle. Just kidding. Yep. -12. Oh gosh. Oh, right now we are here in Tennessee. It's snowing and we're on a winter, whatever you call that, warning, and we can't even go out. But it's just like this thick of a snow and ice. So Minnesota, Perham, Minnesota, 26. Oh gosh. And then in Wyoming. All right, so well, anyway, let's go back to our topic before we get lost in the translation, right? Our topic. See, I'm running out of English. You know what? In the Philippines, we switch P and F. So every time we say coffee, we say copy, and if we say floor, we say the floor. So when I say topic, it's actually topic. So yeah. So yep, I'm running out of English. Yeah, Murray said. Yeah, Michelle Murray said. Yeah, I realized. Yep. Well, anyway, our topic for today is how to become a travel therapist professional. And there's this one lady that we share in the group. She's a nurse, and what she does is she goes out and takes Alzheimer's and dementia clients with their caregivers and taking out them on a cruise. And I think I said we can probably do this too as therapists. You know, if you're whether you're PT, OT, or speech, a PTA or a CODA, I think you can do this. You know, and Kara, lo and behold, you know, the amazing Kara,
Premium beat.
Kara Welke, the next level occupational therapist, just said, "Hey, Michael, I think we have somebody that can do this for us." And then, of course, she connected Karen, another, you know, not the a true nice Karen. Okay, I bet she gets a lot of, you know, oh, you're a Karen, so yeah. But she's an occupational therapist too, Dr. Karen. How do I pronounce her last name? Dwire or something like that? Dwire or Dwire? And of course, her partner, her name is Sarah Molnar. How can I pronounce her last name?
Premium.
Without further ado, let's go and bring in Kara Welke, Dr. Karen Dwire, and Sarah Molnar, and they are going to teach us how to become a travel therapist professional. There you
Oh,
are.
Michael, I was literally dying laughing. You're hilarious. And yes, that's true. Everyone, welcome. When I met Karen, Mike was one of the first people that I called and said, we got to do this. Because obviously we all know that he's the man, the myth, the legend that helps everyone discover alternative healthcare careers. And this is such a great option that it's something that I always wanted to do for a long time, but put it down there like someday. And then when I met Karen, I was like, oh, people are already doing this and it's actually super easy to do. And it fits really good with Mike and alternative healthcare because it's an alternative career that healthcare professionals do that combines their love, knowledge of healthcare with travel. And I don't know many people that don't like, well, I do know people that don't like to travel, maybe for one reason or the other, but I love to travel. And I got connected with Karen, who then introduced me to Sarah. And that's when we started putting together some groups about how we can help inspire healthcare professionals who want to either add a side gig, a side hustle, or even create their own business. So I think if we start with Karen, and then Karen can introduce Sarah, because that's kind of how we all got involved together. So, Karen, do you want to introduce you and then we'll move to Sarah?
Yeah,
Sure.
Karen, tell us about your things. All
Yes,
right.
and you're right. I like to think that I am not that Karen, not that kind of Karen. I'm trying to give, although I don't know many of the actual people named Karen that are Karens, in the modern day sense. But, anyways, yes. So, Karen Dwyer. I've been in OT for 21 years now, which is hard to believe because in so many ways, I feel like I just graduated yesterday, and I've spent much of my career as a traveling occupational therapist. I've worked 6 states, and I actually had the opportunity to go work abroad in Italy with the U.S. military, with the U.S. Army in their mild traumatic brain injury unit for 2.5 years, which kind of just accelerated an already sort of wanderlust obsession with travel. I did a lot of solo travel throughout Europe and even went to Israel and stuff like that. And that's I think at the point where I realized that I have like a deep love for my skills and my knowledge and my passion and my desire to help people through therapy and through my own personal professional experiences in the healthcare world, but that I also felt super connected you know, to that kind of healing through travel. And I can remember in college, I actually wrote a paper. This is back when OTs could get bachelors, and that's what I got. And I later got my post professional OTD in 2021. But, anyways, I can remember writing a paper in college on wanting to start an accessible travel agency, right? And I've looked into it over the years. I had in-laws that were travel agents, and it's just a life, right? Like it's just this, going on cruises and upgrades and always fun travel and stuff like that. So I even started at that point when I was in Italy, I started an Instagram account called Empowering Travel because, I have my own diverse abilities, differing abilities from, a car accident. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a sexual trauma survivor. So there's just so many ways that travel has helped to heal me. I call it my mental health, my mental wellness. I don't need, there's not a problem in my life or in most people's lives, I think, that travel can't solve in one way or another.
I was going to ask you that, Karen. If I mean, I was going to ask you anyway if you can share your perspective. Having your own disabilities and limitations, that
Yeah.
it didn't stop you from traveling at the same time starting your own business, helping other people who have the limitation, and
Yes.
nobody's stopping you. It's not limiting you.
Right.
So in here in our group, we got all this limited beliefs. The imposter syndrome. Can I really do this? And here you are, living and showing to people that, hey, if I can do this, you guys can do it too. And I want you to inspire the people in the group that if you can do it, they can do it too. And before Karen keep on going, I know I stopped her. Type in your favorite destination in the chat box. I know a lot of people are watching right now, and you're excited to know about Karen and Sarah and Kara. But type in where your favorite destination, your dream destination, because there's power in declaring what you want to go, where you want to go, whether it's in life, in travel, or in your career. Type in there, obviously, the destination that you want to go. All right, Karen, I'm sorry. Go back.
No, you're fine. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had cancer when I was 5 years old. I had leukemia. I was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 5 years old. And I think that really started me off at an early age with just an extreme amount of toughness, resiliency, survival, thrival type of mentality. Even though I didn't have a concept that I was, you know, dealing, with my own mortality at such a young age. And then, I actually discovered OT when I was in high school. I had a youth group leader at my church that ran in a therapeutic horseback riding. They called it hippotherapy back in those days. And I went and volunteered, and I'm like, this is what OT is. Sign me up. And I was actually accepted into OT school already. That's a question I get when I tell you this next part of my life and journey, is that I had already been accepted into the pre-OT program at Colorado State. I live in Colorado, so that was actually a big decider of PT versus OT, because PT was at CU and there was no way I was going to CU. So I'm from a family of CSU, go Rams. Anyways, so I was actually in a car accident. So kind of my kindergarten and my senior year growing up were interrupted by serious different traumas and health related issues. But I was in a bad car accident on December 29th, 1995. So don't anybody do the math on how old I am, right after I turned 18. And I basically I rammed my face and my body into the steering wheel. I went off an embankment, and I lost my right eye, pretty much every bone on the right side of my face, most of it on the left side of my face. And to date, I've had 24 surgeries to put, this Humpty back together again. And I was going to school with, I was still super just stubborn about, I wanted to live out my senior year. I was going to college. So I think it was all just a lot more meaningful to me. I was there kind of like learning how to help myself as I was going through the OT program, and dealing with a lot of really differing abilities at that time, and TBI and all that kind of stuff. So I've had a kind of a, one of my most famous sayings is, because people are always like, oh, you're so YOLO, and I'm like, no, I'm Yodo. I'm like, because you live every day, you only die once. So what are you waiting for? Get out there. It's a big world. I went and traveled around New Zealand. I did an internship in Hawaii, and then when I was in school, I realized that there was such a thing as traveling OT, and I really used that as a vehicle to live all over the country. And then I had the opportunity to get to Italy for 2.5 amazing years. And so it's really, and it just continues on. I came back in 2018 because of health issues, and then those, dealing with facial reconstruction and that kind of thing. And in early 2020, I was already looking for something else to do. And, I think it's a common thing. We have that misalignment with the health, traditional healthcare. And that's why so many of us are here. Right. And so I was starting to hardcore try to figure that out. And then of course, COVID sort of came in and just helped speed along some things. And I ended up moving back home here to Western Colorado. And I started, I took some time off to finish my OTD. And then, I've started into some teletherapy. But when I found this, I was actually in a group for coaching for, people who are trying to start a home-based business and how to build your business online. And I was trying to build up another business that was health and wellness. And I think a lot of us get into the products, the different, health and wellness products and stuff like that. And I had done different companies throughout the years. And I was like, I'm really serious about this. I really need to get serious. So I paid for coaching. I went and sought out coaching, and I was in this group, and I saw this girl talking about being in the travel industry and how you can, that you need to recruit people who are already interested in what you're doing. And I was like, wait a minute, she does travel. There's something out there that you can do travel, like in a similar kind of network marketing kind of space. And I'm like, I stalked her, and that person was Sarah Molnar. And I was like, literally, like, I didn't watch anything. I didn't do anything right. I didn't watch anything. I didn't follow the steps. I just was like, this is what I'm doing. And there's two sides to this business, and she's going to get more into that, but I signed up right away, and I have been going. Her and I have partnered up. There was some areas that we were needing to develop systems and training for. And so pretty early on in my tenure, I saw where I could use my skills again to help, really anchor this in for people. And then while we were working on our training system and our recruiting system and all that kind of stuff, I started to notice who was getting attracted to the travel agent, and travel professional life. And it was my therapy friends. So I have now well over half my team, thanks to Kara, is therapists. But even the people that I worked with in Italy and Germany, they were some of the first to jump on. But people I lived and worked in Hawaii for years as a traveler and perm, and so we're birds of a feather. I think adventure and therapists go together really well. And so here we are, because there's obviously a huge interest. And, so with that, I'll shut up and let Sarah kind of explain some stuff. I don't know if you guys have any questions right now, but she's going to explain a lot of it and probably answer a lot of your questions. But she's just an amazing leader. She just actually hit 1-star director in the company that is Planet Marketing, which markets the ITA business. So that means she has 100 agents underneath her, and she is now working this business full time. I'll let her tell a little bit more about her story, but she has the biggest part about that is that her business, she just hit this yesterday. So it's a huge, huge thing. And the therapists involved are, to thank for that. But she was filling out the paperwork to will her business to her stepson and her husband. So this is a huge deal. It's a legacy business at this point. And, I was just in Las Vegas with her weekend before last, and we went to some training. And at that training, someone got up and really spoke to me, because they were talking about being professionally broke and that's how I am. I'm like, I kept getting education and certifications and trying to find the right, niche in the therapy world. But no matter what, it's a job, and it's, at the end of the day, you can't will that to your family. And if you can't work it, it's over, and I've learned that the hard way many times. And so this is where I think this is really important for us, because, people are talking about getting out of that 40, working 40 years, 40 hours a week for 40% of your pay when you retire. So I think there's a lot of people that are feeling like they're at the halfway mark of their careers and seeing like, can I keep going at this for another 20 years? Am I burned out? Am I doing 2 or 3 different things? Can I will this to my family? Am I professionally just going broke? I have more student debt than ever, because I thought maybe I'll get the OTD to, that'll help me guide me where I want to go. And really, it guided me to realize that your own business and something that's fun and engaging and meaningful to so many people, almost everybody, 95% of the US population. So without further ado, I give you the amazing Sarah Molnar.
Thank you, Karen. So I'll give you a little bit of background on me. I am one of the only people here who is not an occupational therapist. I did actually grow up, though, surrounded by healthcare. My mom was a DON, director of nursing, for one of the largest hospitals in New Jersey when I was a child. And my father was a director of a nursing home, and my aunt is actually a hospice nurse. So I was surrounded by healthcare enough as a child that I decided I was not going into healthcare. So I applaud all of you who do it, because I saw what that looked like, and I said I couldn't do it when I was younger. My background is more corporate America. I was an accountant for large companies. I did a lot of retail sales management work, running large department stores, JCPenney's, Herberger's, those type of things. I live in Las Vegas currently. I ran the sales team here for the largest security company in the country, and trained their agents. So I really had a background more in management and sales. I realized I was spending 60, 70 hours a week working and I had no life. So I did what everybody does who thinks they have a solution. I started my own business in Las Vegas. I was very successful, was actually profitable the first year. I was shocked, and was running a home-based business that really was kind of like an Angie's List for Las Vegas. So I had employees and customers that we were servicing with all these different needs. And I realized I'm still stuck. I'm still tied to what my customers need as far as timing and what my employees need. And heaven forbid somebody calls out sick. And I didn't really change anything by starting that business. And I kept looking for that alternative career, so I understand that a little bit. I came from that just a different way. While I was running that business, I had a brand new home built in Las Vegas, married my husband. 11 days after we got married, I fell down the stairs of that brand new home and broke my leg in 3 places. And I was in bed for 6 months, unable to walk, unable to wait there. And I looked at my husband and I didn't know how we were going to pay our mortgage. While he had a very great job, it was a security job doing installation of alarm systems for banks and federal things. I was still the primary breadwinner. And we lost all that income when I couldn't go out and manage my business because I was in the hospital. I said I need to find a way to have money coming in online. So I searched, and I actually was able to realize I can make network marketing work and I could make a home business work, but I needed training. So I, much like Karen, had paid to be mentored. And I've gone through different mentorship programs. I've actually been able to turn that into coaching for a lot of different businesses at this point in time, where I'm actually paid to be brought in and help them with their systems and their coaching process. And I really kept looking around of what could I do that would make me happy. And I always loved travel. And my husband and I were traveling. And I was like, why am I spending $5,000, $10,000 every time we go on a vacation? This seems like there should be a better way, a cheaper way. And then I realized I could make travel my business. So we went all in. My husband paid for the mentorship that I needed. And after I have been trained properly, I was able to retire my husband when he was 37 years old. My husband hasn't worked in a few years. We are very lucky in that sense. And my business, as Karen said, is a legacy to my family at this point because I have built it to that stage. So I am really here more from that travel perspective. My job at this stage is really to help and facilitate people with their business. So I'll explain how the opportunities work. You'll be free to ask me any questions that you want. Feel free to type in anything. And I will really just kind of break down how it works, the legality of it a little bit. And, Karen and Kara have some great ways that they've kind of tied this into how you can do this with occupational therapy and travel. So the travel company that we work with, it's a host agency in teletravel. They've been around for over 30 years. They have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. So this is, a legitimate business. You can go look up all their credentials. What you're basically doing is enrolling as a home-based agent with this agency. They are the original home-based agency. Okay. That does require, just so I'm upfront and clear, it is $179 to join. It is $40 a month. What that means and what that looks like. You are given a website by the company that people can use to book on. You receive errors and omissions insurance for your business. You're put through the company training and certifications. You are legally allowed to book travel using their agency identifiers. I really came in with systems, and that's what Karen spoke to and what her and I have really developed. Okay. I kind of used that management background that I had and that team and sales background to really look at what do we need. Karen said, let's communicate on Voxer. So just so you know, if you join as a travel agent, you will have access to all of us on Voxer 24/7. We have a team, and you ask your questions in there and somebody will answer when you need help. Okay. We use boards. Boards is a process where all of your information is stored, so you're able to access it and get training 24/7. Okay. So joining this travel agency, you get personal discounts, first of all. Okay. Just so you know, if you're looking at this of, does it benefit me? Even if I don't turn this into a business in some way? Yes, it does. All the different vendors offer discounts and promotions when you complete their training and you're qualified for them. Disney's 50% off, for example. Free Princess and Cunard cruises after you complete their training. The list goes on and on. Marriott, IPH, plenty of training. They're all online. They're all self-paced. There's no rules here. This is your business. You also can turn this and just do normal booking, for clients, book cruises, book holidays, book things for people. But then there's also that OT side of tying it in, like Mike said in the beginning, of how to take clients on trips, how to do accessible travel for people. We have other occupational therapists bringing on their entire teams, teaching them how they can travel for cheaper and have their own business doing this with families and clients. There are so many different ways you can go with this. But just to be perfectly clear, every trip you take going forward, whether it's for your personal family or for your business, you would receive at a discounted travel agent rate, or you would book that trip for commission and earn money back on that trip. So any traveling you do for the rest of your life, you're going to be on a discount either way. Okay. That's why a lot of people are doing it just no matter what. The other side of this is more the network marketing piece of it. What I love is IntelliTravel and Planet Marketing keep things separate. The way they view this is IntelliTravel sells travel, Planet Marketing sells the IntelliTravel business opportunity. Okay. So if you are a travel agent only, you cannot enroll anybody in this business. You cannot ask people to join you. You cannot offer them, if you enroll too, you'll be able to save money. You're not doing any of that, which is wonderful, because anybody who doesn't want that doesn't have to. It's not one of those direct sales or network marketing MLM businesses. You literally can just be a travel agent and help your clients and travel with them. Or if you want the residual income, you want that other piece of it that myself and Karen and Kara are all doing, you can choose to show this opportunity to other people. It's simply this. It's having conversations. We actually have a Facebook group. You literally can just add people to that Facebook group. I explain all the information there. It's in a recorded video. People can watch it 24/7, and people are naturally jumping in and joining. They want the personal discounts for themselves. They want to be able to have a side hustle and book for friends and family, or they want to turn this into their business and quit their job so they have the ability to combine, their OT and their love of travel. Starting a business like that with Planet Marketing, you're talking weekly income, monthly income. There's an entire comp plan that we can go through. But really the point of it is, as you share with people, you build a team. And as that team grows, when you hit the stage that I have of helping at least 100 people on your team, it is a legacy business, like Karen said. So when I pass, if I, passed on next week, my husband would receive my income every single month forever. And he would be able to will that on to, my stepson, his son. So I don't know of a single job on the planet that will pay you your paycheck every month after you die. There might be an insurance policy, but that's about it. So I wanted to make sure my family had better and had more. So for me, breaking my leg was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, because it forced me to utilize my skills and find that alternative career that works for my family. So I'd be happy to, go into more detail about either business, but that's kind of the long and short of it. So people don't have to hear me talk for an hour about it.
Yep, that's the long and short version. Well, anyway, thank you very much, Karen, Kara, and Sarah, for sharing your experience. There's some people commenting there, their destination that they wanted to go to and everything like that. And I want to ask Karen, so do you still bring your own clients out on a trip? Because that's my goal.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the developing stages of that. So I've taken, I actually used my my dad and my bonus, I call her my bonus mom. They're not together, but they're both in their 70s. They're both pretty active, but they both wanted to go to Germany last fall, one for Oktoberfest and one for the Passion Play that only happens every 10 years. So I actually, that was my first, what I call like sort of my first concierge travel experience, where I want to, one of my big goals for is, especially for boomers, older adults, that kind of thing, is to plan trips. And I like
Why are
Europe.
you looking at me when you said boomer? Just kidding.
Well, you're Filipino. You guys don't age, so you could be a Gen Z for all I know, Mike. But anyways, yeah. So we went for a week to Germany, and there's so many steps in the process now, especially post COVID, and there's different rules, and they even benefit from help for getting through security, getting to the following a map to find the jumping off point for that excursion. We did Sound of Music and Mozart in Salzburg, Austria, and stuff like that. So it was really, I kind of impressed myself because I really felt like it went flawlessly, and we had a great time. We got to do stuff, but we were still, I found good places to stay, all that kind of stuff. So we really have, I think my skill set as a therapist, and definitely like working with older adults for that amount of time, was that I have for the last 20 years. Basically it's almost all been with adults or older adults. And then so that was a really good experience. And then I also last month, I can still say last month because it's still January, I went to Belize on a service trip, on a therapy service trip, which was with a different group. I didn't actually plan that, but I kind of got really inspired because I've taken other mission trips and service trips and stuff like that over the last couple of years to Mexico. And then I went to Belize. And it was just really inspired. And I really saw how I could do it better. Like I really saw how I could, help therapists get a vacation while also going and taking a couple days to go work with the kids in the Ministry of Education, like we did. Or with they don't have any therapy in Belize. They have no therapists. So
Wow.
they have to go to Mexico for physical therapy. And they have to go, there is no such thing as OT, and they have one speech therapist.
Yeah, what is OT? Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
In the
I love
Philippines,
how Sarah,
there
like
was
for
a
the first,
time in the Philippines that PT and OT is in the same curriculum.
yeah, yeah.
So we went to the same classes and everything, and then it was like, who is this OT people? And then here comes nursing people, and who are these PT people? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was like that before. So, well,
Yeah.
I want to ask this question, Karen, Sarah, and Kara too. W- For example, like me, I'm starting this, my travel agency. I signed up. Could you teach me? Because I first of all, I don't know how to travel. Obviously, I'm a foreigner. I know how to travel by myself with my family. I feel like my wife is the official, travel agent. I buy the tickets, I pay the tickets. She does all this stuff. So, would you teach me, or the therapist that's gonna sign up? Would you teach us, or can we observe you when you do this? You and Kara. I know Kara and I. We've been on a trip. Kara's my whatever you call this. She bought the tickets, and I didn't even have to worry about the ticket. I didn't have to worry about the hotel and even the food. Kara did that for our trip, our mastermind trip, and that's what I wanted to do for our clients too. Would you teach us how to do that? Because Kara just did it by herself. She provided the food, provided the plane ticket, provided the Airbnb, and she's got the planned whole day planned, even the evenings, and she even had a impersonator like me singing in the really making fun of me. But I wanted that. Could you
I
teach? Would
forgot
you?
about him. You were brothers.
I don't know. It's my brother from another mother. Same energy too. But I was tired. But can would you teach us how to do that? Because that would be amazing. When I was working as a pharmaceutical rep, we did that. Up to the actual bed, there was like a little gift that we would put in the bed for that doctor, and for the trip, and even the morning. There's a schedule. Is that what you do for your clients, Sarah
Yes.
and Karen?
It can
Can
absolutely go
we
to that
join you on a
level.
trip someday?
Yes. Karen and I actually are literally going to LA like in 2 weeks from now together. So Karen and I are on a trip together in 2 weeks,
Oh
related to
wow.
travel. So, I mean, that's what we do. I honestly, I hold orientations every week for anybody who comes in to learn the basic knowledge. I have recorded trainings on everything. Like literally, if you ask me, how do I book a cruise? There is a recorded short 5-10 minute video that is already saved in our training program that you can just go watch that 10-minute video and know how to book a cruise. I've
I think,
already
Sarah, we
recorded.
need to do one specific for our group.
Yep,
Next
absolutely.
level OT trip or alternative career trip, just for us to experience how
Mhm.
we're going to be, how the clients or the patient will feel. Somebody
Absolutely.
has to be in a wheelchair. That could be me. I hate walking. So
I was just
somebody like
gonna
that
say,
can
you just want
experience
me
it.
to
You know what I mean?
you just want me to
And
push
just
you
experience
around
it.
yes to Pete.
You
It's
know,
okay. I'm a good patient. I can't walk that far after my
me
leg's
too,
been
right?
broken. I'm still a good patient. You can take me anywhere.
So yeah. Well, we got several
Yeah.
questions here. I hope you can answer this. Julie is asking, is this an MLM?
So the second business, the Planet Marketing, that would be considered MLM since you do have the ability to enroll other people. Being a travel agent, however, is not. IntelliTravel is simply a host travel agency. You have no ability working with them to enroll another person. It's not even an option. It doesn't work in their business. It's not an option.
Yeah. For me,
If
Julie, I think what I signed up is just for the
I
travel
signed you up
agency.
for both, Mike.
Oh, well, she got my credit card anyway. She's like my work wife. She has everything.
but yeah,
So
no,
yeah, but originally that was my goal. I was just going to do the travel agency.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And it's not
and
an
then
MLM.
there's another
That's what people like.
legitimate question here from Julie. Julie is asking, so making money is mostly by recruiting others? Definitely no, right?
Definitely no.
Because I want to
I
share this too, Sarah and Karen and Kara.
Mhm.
The my patients, our clinic is called Jerry Hab. There's like 1 month last year that I didn't have almost any patient because there's this one group of people. She's a realtor, but part of her alternative career as a realtor is to take those geriatric people out on a trip. I think next month all of them are going to Israel. I'm like, where are you going again? We need patients. Like 2 weeks, they're gone, and then those are my bulk of my patients. So that's what I wanted to do, to create an actual trip for the. Of course, her population is more the higher level people. Mine would be the people who are in a wheelchair, something like dementia focused stuff. So yeah, it's not
And
mainly recruiting, more
Mike,
on the.
No,
Yeah.
no.
the last week we met with a group of therapists that are doing this, and just some ideas of what these therapists are looking to do with their business. One hopes to develop a business calling it Cruising for Seniors, and she wants
Oh,
to
love
focus
that.
on cruises for seniors. We have someone that wants to take mental clients with mental health. Um,
I already know a nurse practitioner. I mean, if she's watching Dr. Anna Cook, I mean, I'm sure all her patients in iMind, she's like a mental health nurse practitioner.
yeah,
That's another target audience there. Yeah.
right. She
Mhm.
wants to take them on mission trips or travel
Oh,
journeys.
yeah.
We have people that want to start an accessible travel business. We have people that want to start a senior travel companion business. We have one that wants kind of similar travel assistant, escort, consultant to um, like resorts and cruises on actually being accessible. Some want to just focus on creating mission trips. Some want to focus on creating vacations for people with dementia and their caregivers. Some talked about just creating trips for caregivers for a wellness retreat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
they need that.
some focus more on children, and creating child or family accessible travel. Those were just a few of the things that the therapists that we're working with, some of them are going to be doing. I don't, Karen, what other ones did I miss that they
Yeah,
talked about?
I yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty complete. It's a growing list because people are really getting creative with it. And kind of what's beautiful about what we're doing when combining it in this way is that we put everybody through general training first, because we all have these great ideas and how we want to niche down. But just like in therapy, you didn't start out with a super specific niche. You got your general education, and that's basically where Sarah and myself come into play to help. Because you can if you get on that Planet marketing side, you might have people that aren't therapists that join your team as well. And so getting that general education, because if you're just on the travel side of it, grandma wants to take that cruise, and your sister and her family want to go to that all-inclusive family-friendly resort in Cancun. And I make some pretty good money off referrals from my friends and family, and from referrals of referrals, and it just kind of grows from there, because really in this world, people need help with travel, even that are maybe have no issues, but you're hard pressed to find a family that doesn't have some kind of issue. And
It's true.
another
Who's
thing that
going to do it?
what's that?
Who's going to do it? I mean, you've got all these people who are not even therapy, not even a CNA or a nurse, taking out these patients. When was the last time I went out on a trip, a plane trip? I think it was November with Kara.
November.
I saw
Yeah.
people who were like being pushed in a rollator, and then she fell backward. Who pushes a patient in a rollator?
Right.
I don't.
Right.
That's a no for us in therapy, right? I mean, or those four-wheeled rollator, we don't do that. And of course, the lady was like pushing the old lady, and then of course she fell backward, it tipped backward, and then I
Yeah.
had to pick the lady up. Who's gonna do this? It needs to be us, physical, occupational, or speech therapist, because first we know the DME. Somebody asked a question here. How about the DME? You need to find a way. You need to find accommodation. You will need to learn how to find an accessible van that you can use for your patients or for your clients that you're serving. Not just a regular van. You need to learn how to communicate with the different buses in that specific area in advance. Most of the travel agencies I know, even I came from the Philippines. And then what we did before as a pharmaceutical rep, we were kind of the people who we would go a month before and look and plan what we were supposed to do. Look at the hotel, look at the food, taste the food, and really trial everything out. And same thing with this. What do you do for the DME? You need to know what wheelchair they're using. Is it power wheelchair? Is it a foldable wheelchair? Is it a whatever wheelchair? Or is it a walker? So this is where our skills comes in. So it's very important that we as therapists lead this type of business, not just a random guy who's a rich person guy. Well, of course, we'll eventually be rich, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop
I,
there.
and like all through my travels throughout Europe, especially living in Italy, it drove me nuts because it's so inaccessible. And that's why I was like, I have empowering travel. I had, and I actually ended up closing down that account, which I sort of wish I didn't. But now my travel business is called Free to Be Me Travel, because that takes
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of different meanings for people. But for me, I wanted to be able to travel more in the way I want to be able to, that's unique to me. And that's what we're good at as therapists, is looking at the individual, going at it from a client-centered, driven way to individually look at them and see what's going on. And I kind of, when I was working with the soldiers that had like PTSD and TBI and stuff like that, like sometimes my therapy involved helping them plan and take a trip to Rome on the train with their family as a 23-year-old with, PTSD from deployment, and they don't like crowds, they're hypervigilant. So we have to go through all of these stages and what to do if you're in
Yeah.
a crowd at the Vatican and you have a panic attack and you need
Yep.
to get to safety. Like, so there's so much, because that, that mental health, that person who wants to do mental health travel. I know a couple of other OTs and therapists that want to do that as well, because it's so important, especially in this post-COVID land where,
Mm.
time where that mental health is at a peak of,
Oh yeah.
like, anxiety. I know a lot of people that they just don't trust it. They don't trust going outside of their
Uh-huh.
homes, their bubbles. They want help. they can do most things physically, but they need someone to go with them. So it doesn't
It's
matter
funny you
young
mentioned
old.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it you guys that I talked to, or just a random podcast that I listened to recently? There's this lady, and she has a daughter or a son that is an autist has autism. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm
Mhm.
running out of English already. She has
Autism. Yep.
autism. The patient has autism, and they've never took their child out because she gets wild, you know what I mean? And then what they did is they decided, hey, I think we need to find someone who was a specialist in taking out autism kids. And lo and behold, they found an actual occupational therapist who does it. Is it you or somebody podcast that I
So
was listening to?
we
Or
have
Anthony Maritado sharing the link. I don't know.
it's kind of
And it was just amazing.
both.
And then there's like group of autism kids that are actually doing it, and there's like a tip check and everything. And I think we as therapists, we can do that,
Mhm.
specifically dementia, autism, and a lot more people who are in a wheelchair. You already mentioned PTSD clients, and a lot more. Oh gosh, I'm just already thinking here, people who are spouses that has blind spouses.
Yes.
You can
I know the
actually
blind
become an
person
autism
cannot
certified.
see, but if their spouses are able to go out with them and you accommodating, giving them like whatever they call that, a
With
headset or
headphones.
whatever, explaining,
Yeah.
and oh gosh, that will be a
Yeah.
game changer. Oh yeah.
Yes.
You
The
can
odds with the autism thing, I have someone on my team who is a physical therapist, and I think Kara and I were just talking about how we want to probably get her on very soon to talk about the autism travel, because a bunch of us have become certified autism travel professionals. There's
Oh
actually a
gosh.
certifying agency, and January is a physical therapist, and I know it's the month of January. Her name is January. It gets very confusing. I've known her
Is
since I
this
was
her?
huh?
January Johnston? Is
Yes.
that her?
Yep. That's
yes,
her.
that is her.
Hey, January.
Yep. She's a
So,
certified autism travel professional.
yeah, and she also has a son with autism, so she works with kids as well as a therapist in early intervention and school aged children. So she took a trip to Disney with her son, and we're helping to develop that for other families as well, to make it go from a meltdown to a magical kingdom experience. And they
Oh
had a great time.
wow.
And then there's also, the Sandals resorts are pretty famous for being
Mm-hmm.
high-end luxury, like couples resorts, but they have these family resorts called beaches. There's in Jamaica and Turks and Caicos, and they all have certified autism travel professionals, or certified autism staff on staff, and they have like the Sesame Street character that has autism
Not
is
too scary.
there.
Yeah.
They have programs specially. They have different camps and stuff specially designed for children with autism. You can get special diets, because a lot of those
Oh,
kids are
oh
on
wow.
gluten free and low processed food, low sugar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
they are
this is
really.
great.
We have a lot of plans for going to one of those. We'd like to take a group of therapists and a group of the entire family, because that's something that January really works on here locally. She lives here
Mhm.
locally to me. We grew up together. So she works like on an equestrian farm, which is another area, or equestrian ranch, a therapeutic horseback riding ranch, to help, with these kids. And they also serve veterans. So that's another area, is actually helping people and families get to stuff like that. And so we would love to take a group, maybe just starting with a handful of families down to these, to one of these beaches resorts, probably in Jamaica,
Mhm.
and then have the therapists go along with their families too. And, we all can make money through the commissions. Sandals pays amazing commissions. So, um,
Not just a sandal and a flip flop. Just kidding.
yeah. You get both sandals when you book with
Uh,
Sandals. They'll give you the left and the right. It's amazing. So
well, you know what? My what do you call this in English? My head, my wheel is spinning.
Mhm.
because we serve what you call the Department of Intellectual Developmental Disabilities, and then they go out on a trip too. Nothing against, I hope they're not watching, right? Nothing against the most of the people that works in those group homes. They are not really qualified to take these patients out.
Yeah.
They may know the patient's, plan of care, but it's a different animal when they go out. Change of environment, too much sound, too much stimulation, and they just start getting really, really uh, go crazy, because of the change in environment. I think we as the professional could really host this trips and coordinate with different group homes and facilities like that and adult daycare centers. It doesn't have to be like a whole 5-day trip. It could be, a 1-day trip, and they pay you as the agent or the trip coordinator, and then boom, they don't have to worry. You got the team, the staff that are trained to do it. Oh gosh, Mason just already mentioned, yes, the DD waiver. So I know we're hitting the 50-minute mark. Where can we find you guys? Where can they reach you? How can they contact you? Is there a website that they can reach out or sign up?
So we
Mhm.
have we created a Facebook group that is specifically for therapists interested in doing this, as well as we've been getting people in that group, and then we also connect them with Sarah. Mike, will there be a way that we can put some links with this information for people
Oh
to
yeah,
click on, or so
yeah.
we can
If you
send you
put it in a
that?
private chat, I'll put it on
Okay,
the comments.
okay, I'll
Mhm.
do that now.
And one of the Facebook users said, "Is there going to be a recap on this anywhere?" Yes, there's a recap. You only pay. No, just kidding. The webinar link that you've signed up, or here in our Facebook page, or go to my Facebook page, or the group that you're watching this, it's going to be uploaded there, and it's going to be there forever anyway. And then I'm
The
gonna just
other
copy what
The
Kara
other thing,
said.
Mike, is,
Yeah.
think about the business that we both have, our mobile hybrid therapy business working with older adults. Um, you're not going to be able to start a business as with as minimal of investment as this, and then you don't have to deal with all the stuff that we have to deal with
Kara, do I?
insu-
That's a long number group.
insurance and all of that kind of stuff. Well, it's actually groups, then it's the name. I don't know why it's not popping up like that, but
So just remember, go to Facebook groups 13778900. Just
I spec-
That's
I
fine.
specifically, if you just type in therapists as travel professionals, it'll pop up. So,
okay. Therapy travel professionals.com
yep.
or whatever.
And then we
I'm
guide you
great.
where to go from there. So,
Yeah. Or send us a private message, me or Kara or Karen or Sarah. They're also inside the group, the alternative career group. They'll send you the link. I think it's called Therapy Travel Professional. Is that correct, Kara?
therapists as travel professionals.
See, I'm wrong. Therapist as travel professional.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, again, thank you very much. Any last parting wisdom, Karen? Let me just go to Karen first. Any last parting wisdom, Karen?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've said it all. I really I'm really loving all this therapist energy. I guess one parting wisdom would be that I think that a lot of us are, probably watching tonight are, we're in y'all's groups because we're looking for a better way. We're in alternative healthcare professional. I've bought one of your bundles looking, at the side hustle bundle, and I think where we can look at impacting is the younger therapists and the people going through school. And I teach a couple of classes at the local university at Colorado Mesa, and I teach population health community practice. And they're kind of still going through this sort of employee mentality of when you go through school, it's all related to getting a job. And I do think there's value in working in the traditional settings to get experience and gain expertise. But there's a lot of interest. I posted in an OT new grad group one time, and like a couple weeks ago, and it went viral within that group, and I've had a couple people sign up to be agents and to be sponsors and work with that. But the younger population is of therapists is one to look to for that really wants to give back into the populations, but they maybe need a little bit of help seeing this as a side hustle, that they could really nurture and have be, I'm looking at this for therapists as a way to, maybe cut down to where you only have, 10 years or 5 years left on that instead of a 40-year sentence. You might get out early on parole, right? And you can do this as a retirement business. I know a lot of people that are doing this to retire into a travel business that they can actually, teachers love this too, because they want the time freedom, but they don't get the money freedom that goes along with that. So because they love to travel. So talk to everybody. You will be surprised at who might be interested in this. The younger professionals, anybody, your mom, your sister, your aunt, it's just something that I think, especially in post-COVID times, we are all looking at ways to have more adventure, more fun. And so, just go get it.
Thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate you. How about you, Sarah? Any last parting wisdom for the group?
Yes, I would say most of my clients, to be honest, are actually in their 70s, and it's something we might not think about, but that's really when people, retire, and then they have the time to travel. And I didn't even think about what that might look like as a travel agent. I have requests from just my regular everyday clients. How do I have a wheelchair because I'm 76? How do I get to not have to walk through the airport? They don't even realize people will push them in a wheelchair in the airport. There's so many things here that your skill set can actually help not only your patients and things that you're already tied into, but also just the general public who does not have the knowledge of, I'm 76 and I want to go on vacation, but I can't book it online myself. I don't know how to do that. And I don't know how to get a wheelchair, and I don't know how to get assistance. And you could actually help those people make those travel dreams come true. I know that's really what I spend my time doing, is really working with mainly older adults to book their travel, and then helping anybody who, doesn't want to have to work for the next 40 years. Like Karen said, look at this as an alternative and a way to get out of their current situation, or retire a spouse, or travel more. Our lifestyle at this point is one where I can travel 24/7. My son is on an online private school because we want to be able to show him the world. And that's what this business could do for you if you want it to.
Amen. And Kara?
Well, for everyone in here, since you might be looking for an alternative to your healthcare, why not combine your great healthcare career with travel? It is a great side gig or business to get into. And we are creating a community of therapists doing it and supporting to help you guys do it. So
Perfect.
another
I think
bonus.
we really need to do a sample trip, right? A sample
Sounds
trip
good.
where, I can go and my wife or whatever, or the family, right?
I'll do one a
Well,
month. I don't care. I'll do one a month with you.
there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
These are going to start happening on the regs.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Appreciate you. Again, thank you. Before I let you go, always remember the word FAST.
PMB.com.
FAST, letter F. Find people that will bring out the best in you, because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Tonight, I hang out with Sarah, Karen, and I feel like I want to be a travel professional too, right? If you want to be a travel professional, reach out to them, talk to them. If you want to start your OT business, talk to Karen. Want to start your geriatric practice, talk to me. If you're gonna start your travel business, talk to Karen and Sarah. All right. Next letter is letter A. You gotta learn how to take action. All this stuff that we're doing is not gonna do me good. It's not even gonna do the rest of the people good if you don't take action. Imperfect action beats perfect in action. And all of us here, I've spent thousands of dollars opening up our business. I'm sure Kara did too. But with this, the barrier to entry is so low that of course you got to get your LLC, your DBA, your EIN, and stuff like that. But it's before there was a time that starting a travel agency is like a big deal. In the Philippines, only the rich people can open up their own travel agency. So when I got this opportunity, it's like, oh heck yeah, this X amount, $40 a month, to have access to discounted rates and stuff like that. Definitely yes. So take action, guys. If you don't want to, there's nobody forcing you. Next letter is letter S. Share and subscribe. The more shares, the better. Of course, subscriptions, the better, especially if you're watching on YouTube, also in our podcast. And last but not least is letter T. Is teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, that's how you understand it more. And that's what Karen and Karen Sarah is doing. They're teaching you how to start your travel therapy business. Again, thank you very much, my Facebook friends, YouTube, and podcast friends. We appreciate you. Be awesome, be great, be excellent, and I will see you on our next episode. Bye.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.